Oh, well, this is Unit 5. This is supposed to help you more with the history, but your project is going to be both history and vision of your company. But, however, the history and vision project is not due, or the deadline for that is after Yeungnam midterm tests. So even though we're doing the unit to help you with that, you do not have to worry about the project until after the midterm test. But if any group would like to begin early on history, vision, or doing your ad, please contact me and I will tell you exactly what you need to do. For all the other groups, uh, wait until it shows up on the portal and then you can start working on it. All right, I just wanted to be clear about the fact that even though we're doing the unit now, history and vision deadline is not until after your midterm tests. All right, let's begin. All right, so we see some photos here. She won the gold. We all know who she is, right? Then we have family, graduation, money, promotion, really nice house. All right, so 5 of these, uh, images, you can actually, I guess, connect them in a way. After graduation, you get a job, and at the job, you start making money. Now, while you're finding the job, when you get the job, after you're working at your job, you get married and you have 1 or 2 kids. And then uh, a few years at your job, you start to move up in your job, so you start to make more money. So with that money that you're getting because of moving up in your job, you get a nicer house. Anyways, what do all of these have to do, right? Family, gold, winning the gold, right? Money, graduation, nicer house, moving up in your job. All right. So these are all achievements, which, let me move my head, which is the title of Unit 5, right? Unit 5, achievements. All right. Now, we're going to start with the title of the first part of the unit. I just want to let you know you're going to hear the same audio here 3 times, just so you know. Um, and you will be hearing a lot of words and numbers, not so much graphs. Graphs will come later. All right. So now, vocabulary. There are some things you're going to hear in the audio, and the writers of the book wanted to make sure that that students using the book understand what these words mean. So, facts and figures. These are just words, numbers, graphs. All right, import. I always tell my students, if you want to know what this means, just change the M to N, import, right? That's not a word, but import is not a word. It's import, but it kind of helps you to know what the word means. Why? Import means to bring into. So the opposite is export, to send out. And of course, the last two words, I think we all know what these mean. Increase to go up, decrease to go down. All right, so these are the words you're going to hear in the audio, which I said you're going to hear 3 times. All right, the first time you hear it, you just have to pick the correct table. So I'm not going to say pause the video for as long as you need, because here it's just number 1 or number 2. That's all you have to do. All right, so let's listen to the audio.
Unit 5, Track 19.
Hello, everybody. I hope you're all enjoying your first week with us. I was asked to give you a short presentation about the company. First, I want to tell you something about our sales figures. Last year, we exported products worth $50 million to Asia compared with $48 million the year before last. That was really good, but the figures for this year are even better. We've exported goods worth $52 million to Asia so far, and we expect the final figure for this year to be the highest in the history of the company. That's the good news. However, while exports to Asia have increased, exports to Europe have decreased. Last year, exports to Europe rose compared with the year before, and in fact, we had the best figures ever. Unfortunately, there's been a financial crisis in Europe, and as a result, our exports there have fallen this year. Finally, let's look at North and South America. 2 years ago, we opened up new markets in North America. Sales there were high in the first year, but last year exports there fell to $27 million. However, I'm happy to say that this year they have risen and already stand at $29 million. This year we have opened up new markets in South America, for example, in Brazil and Argentina, but so far we have no figures. In total, exports increased last year compared with the year before last, but this year they haven't risen. Compared with last year, they've stayed the same.
All right, so you just had to pick, is she talking about table number 1 or table number 2? And the answer is table number 2. All right. Now, for the next 2, I'm going to say, pause the video for as long as you need. All right, so here you just have to choose the correct word. So for here and the next one, you're going to have to listen a little bit more carefully. So let's listen.
Unit 5, Track 19.
Hello, everybody. I hope you're all enjoying your first week with us. I was asked to give you a short presentation about the company. First, I want to tell you something about our sales figures. Last year, we exported products worth $50 million to Asia compared with $48 million the year before last. That was really good, but the figures for this year are even better. We've exported goods worth $52 million to Asia so far, and we expect the final figure for this year to be the highest in the history of the company. That's the good news. However, while exports to Asia have increased, exports to Europe have decreased. Last year, exports to Europe rose compared with the year before, and in fact, we had the best figures ever. Unfortunately, there's been a financial crisis in Europe, and as a result, our exports there have fallen this year. Finally, let's look at North and South America. 2 years ago, we opened up new markets in North America. Sales there were high in the first year, but last year exports there fell to $27 million. However, I'm happy to say that this year they have risen and already stand at $29 million. This year, we have opened up new markets in South America, for example, in Brazil and Argentina, but so far we have no figures. In total, exports increased last year compared with the year before last, but this year they haven't risen. Compared with last year, they've stayed the same.
So please pause the video for as long as you need now. All right, welcome back. You have chosen what you think are the correct words. And now we're going to check your answers. All right, here we go. Last year, exports to Asia increased. I'm not going to, for these, I'm not going to read the whole sentence for any of them. All right, this year, exports to Asia have risen. Last year, exports to Europe rose. Now, here I am going to say compared with the year before. This year, exports to Europe have fallen. Total exports this year, compared with last year, have stayed the same. So increased, have risen, rose, have fallen, have stayed the same. If you need to take a screenshot, please do it now. Okay, so something I should have said when we were doing the last one where you had to choose the correct word. When I do say pause the video for as long as you need, because this is audio, if you need to go back, you can. This is a video. You can always go back and listen one more time or listen as many times as you need, right? Then you can then check to see if your answers are correct. All right, here we're going into the grammar part of the unit, or the first grammar part, which is the present perfect. So let me just say quickly, the present perfect just has to do with something that started in the past. We don't know when, but we know it started in the past and is still happening now. So let me give you a hint here. Let me help you with these. So let me just tell you that the present perfect sentences here are going to be number 2, number 4, number 6, and number 8. So numbers 1, 3, 5, and 7 will be past tense, or as the book likes to refer to it, past simple. All right, so listen carefully. Now remember, 2, 4, 6, 8 is the present perfect.
Unit 5, track 19.
Hello, everybody. I hope you're all enjoying your first week with us. I was asked to give you a short presentation about the company. First, I want to tell you something about our sales figures. Last year, we exported products worth 50 million US dollars to Asia compared with 48 million the year before last. That was really good, but the figures for this year are even better. We've exported goods worth 52 million US dollars to Asia so far, and we expect the final figure for this year to be the highest in the history of the company. That's the good news. However, while exports to Asia have increased, exports to Europe have decreased. Last year, exports to Europe rose compared with the year before, and in fact, we had the best figures ever. Unfortunately, there's been a financial crisis in Europe, and as a result, our exports there have fallen this year. Finally, let's look at North and South America. 2 years ago, we opened up new markets in North America. Sales there were high in the first year, but last year exports there fell to 27 million US dollars. However, I'm happy to say that this year they have risen and already stand at 29 million US dollars. This year we have opened up new markets in South America, for example, in Brazil and Argentina, but so far we have no figures. In total, exports increased last year compared with the year before last, but this year they haven't risen. Compared with last year, they've stayed the same.
Okay, so let's start. So last year, the company exported products worth 50 million to Asia. We have exported goods worth 52 million to Asia so far. Last year, exports to Europe rose compared with the year before. This year, they have fallen. Last year, exports to North America fell to 27 million. This year, exports there have risen. 2 years ago, we opened up new markets in North America. This year, we have opened up new markets in South America. Okay, I apologize. I didn't give you guys time to pause, but that's okay. It's just one strike against me. That's okay. You have the answers. You can take the screenshot. It was my mistake. I usually give you guys time. Sorry about that. All right, so take your screenshot if you need to. And let's just move on. All right, so here is an explanation from the book, and then I have a couple of slides to talk about it a little bit more. All right, present perfect. This is okay, so we have the past tense, time in the past, finished, past tense. A minute ago, an hour ago, and then if you use the book from the audio that we just heard last year, it happened, it's over, it's done. Time from the past to now, but it's still happening. It's not finished. So if we look at the book, the audio that we just heard, so far. So up to now, but still, there's still time. So far, we have back to the past tense. 2 years ago, you hear her talking about last year, and 2 years ago, that's the past tense. When you hear her saying things like so far and this year, because the year is not over yet, present perfect. So I'm going to quickly show you this. When we talk about a time that is not finished, we use the present perfect. When we talk about a time that is finished, we use the past simple, or as you hear me say it, the past tense. Now, the book does say something that you should, if you ever are confused, you should come back to this. All right. So, regular verbs in the past. This is just the, past tense. Regular verbs that end in ed, when you are using them for the present perfect, it doesn't change. It's still ed. They still end with ed. Now, irregular verbs change for the past tense and for the present perfect. So for that, please go to page 95 for a list of irregular verbs that are used in the book. And it will show you the verb, past tense, present perfect. They will refer to it as the past participle. It's the same. Past participle, present perfect is the same. Also, you can always ask me if you're not sure, or, if you want explanations in Korean, you could go to Naver, and there are tons of ESL sites that can help you out. Okay, so here's the little graph that I made. So we have the simple past versus the present perfect. So we have this, we have a graph here from the past until now, and then we have, but also still going. Okay. So finished action, it's done. All right, so that's the past tense or simple past. Action that is not finished, that would be the present perfect. Right? So I could say that I have been teaching this class for 20 minutes. It means that the class is not over, it's still going. I started this video 20 minutes ago. The action of starting the video is over. So, happened in the past and it's done, past tense. Started in the past, but is still going, present perfect. I just want to be, I hope everybody understands, because you will be using these two when you are talking about the history of the company. You're going to talk about, you're going to write about things that started in the past and things that you're doing that are still happening now. All right. And so here's the simple past and present perfect. And as I said to you, present perfect, past participle mean the same. It just means the same. All right, so there are some irregular verbs here. As far as I can see, there's one irregular verb. All right, so eat, ate, played, drove, bought, got. So played is the only regular verb. So we know that played will also be the same here. So I have eaten, I have played, I have driven, I have bought. That's one that stays the same. And I have gotten. Or you can say I have got, but most people are going to say gotten. But got is correct. I just want to make sure that you understand it. Got is also correct. All right. I remember that this is a video. You can go back and watch it. And this PowerPoint also is available in the class folder if you wanted to go back and look at this. But for now, if you need to take a screenshot, go ahead. All right, let's move on. All right, this is something else that you're going to use in the history of your company. You could say something like, our company has been open since the year 2000. We've been open for 21 years. All right, so we have Monday 3 months, 8 a.m., an hour. Last week, I started a long time, 2 days. All right. What I want you guys to do is, for each of these, just, is it cents or is it for? Now, you can do it however you want. You can have a notebook. You can do it in your head. You can just write cents for, cents for, cents for, and so on. Again, the choice is up to you, but of course, I'm going to give you time. So for each one, is it cents or is it for? Pause the video for as long as you need now. Okay, welcome back. You have written down cents and for each one of these. Let's check your answers. Cents Monday for 3 months. Since 8 a.m. for an hour. Since last week. Since I started. For a long time. For 2 days. All right, these are the answers. If you need to take a screenshot, please do it now. All right, let's move on. All right, so if you look in the book, which should have helped you, you would see that they talk a little bit about when do you use cents, when do you use for? Okay, so we have cents. I'm just going to say it now to help you with this. Actually, I'm going to do this first and then talk about this. All right, so we use for with a period of time, length of time. For this time, for 21 years. We use cents with a point in time, since the year 2000. So this is something that we may or may not do in class, but I'm thinking we probably won't be doing it in class. So I already have the answers for you. All right, so remember, since is a point in time. Since February, since she got married, since September. For is a period or length of time. For 3 years, for a few months, for only a few months, for 2 years, for a long time. All right, remember, for a period of time, since a point in time. All right, if you need to take a screenshot, go ahead. All right, let's move on. All right, so we have some pie charts and some bar charts and some line graphs. And I think we all know which is which. Normally, I would say pause the video for as long as you need. But we all know the reason it's called a pie chart is because it looks like a pie. A bar is going to have the lines going up or down. And a line graph is going to have lines, right? So this is a bar chart. This is a line graph. And this is a pie chart. That's it. Of course, there's going to be more to this, but for now, this is it. Bar chart, line graph, pie chart. All right, so which charts, A to C, and words 1 to 9 describe each chart? Okay, so we have these are line graphs, yeah. So we know that drop is A. So yes, this time you will pause the video for as long as you need now. Okay, welcome back. This should have been relatively easy and pretty quick. Okay, so we know increase means to go up, so that's B. Stay the same, there's no change. C. Fall. That means the same as drop. A. Rise means the same as increase. B. Go up means the same as rise. Right? B. Go down means the same as drop or to fall. Climb means, remember, you're climbing up. When you're on a ladder, you climb up. So that would be B. Decrease. That was one of the words you had to know for the audio. That means to go down. All right. ABC, ABB, ABA. So take a screenshot if you need to. Okay, for here, what they want you to do is to complete each sentence with one of the words that we just did from 4B. And that would be this, right? Drop, increase, rise, and so on. Okay, so using one of these words, you would put one of these words in here. Now, this is numbers 1 through 5. Just wanted to be clear about one thing. This is January all the way to December. And of course, these are the numbers of bikes that they sold. All right, so again, one of these words in the blank spaces. So numbers 1 through 5. You can pause the video for as long as you need now. Okay, welcome back. All right, let's check your answers. Again, I'm going to have all the words that you could use. You only had to have one of the words. Bangkok Bikes sold 300 bikes in January. In February, sales fell to 200. Again, you would only use one of the words that you see here. In March, sales increased, but in April, they stayed the same. In May, sales went up to 500 and continued to increase until August, which was the best month of the year. All right, before we go on to number 4 and 5, if you need to take a screenshot, please take the screenshot now. All right, so let's move on to numbers 4 and 5 here, and that is, in September, sales began to go down. Sales stayed the same in October, but went down again in November. In December, as a result of Christmas sales, the figures increased again. All right, as usual, you need to take a screenshot. Please do it now. All right, so we are going to move on. I'm going to talk a little bit about what you need to do for your next class. All right, so for your next class, which is the Zoom class, I want you guys to pick somebody famous or make somebody up, somebody fake. Again, you're going to be doing this as a group. So as a group, you need to have one. The person can be real or fake, but can only be one. So each of you is not going to talk about somebody. As a group, you're going to talk about somebody. Now, if the person is real, go on the internet and make notes and tell me all these things. Where and when was the person born? Where and when did the person go to school, college? How did the person's career begin? How did the person become famous? And if the person is alive, what has the person achieved in life so far? If the person is dead, what did the person achieve in life, in their life? Okay, now for steps 3 and 4, it says here, share your information in your group and prepare a group presentation. Decide who in the group will give which information. Okay, you do not have to do this. You can just speak. Now, if your group wants to have a short little PowerPoint, that's fine. But all this is really about is speaking. I just want to be clear. And then it says here, tell the class about, okay, right there I'm going to stop. Tell the class? No, tell me. So you will be in your groups, you will be in your breakout rooms, and I will give you another 3 to 5 minutes to get ready. And then when I come to your room, you can do this as a group, or one person in the group can do it. Now you will all get points because you had to do the work. You all had to do the work, because I don't think one of you is going to do all of this. So, you know, each of you finds out something. And again, yeah, either one of you will speak for the group, or each of you will say something about the person. And again, speaking or PowerPoint, it's your choice. But you're going to tell me about the person that your group chose, you know, and then all of this, right? So this will be for Zoom. That's it. Now, speaking of Zoom, I'll see you in Zoom. All right, see you then. All right.